openness, the beautiful Keri.
Thank you, Aviva. She did a great job, didn't she? So I'm pretty excited to be here and speaking with all of you lovely people. Wasn't BJ amazing? Yeah. I took some great notes. Now you know why I stick to her like glue. But I'm excited to talk with you guys today about bookending your day. Now, how many of you hear the word routine and you start to think about something negative? Be honest. You're like, ugh, routine, rut, boring. Come on, give me some good adjectives. I dread it. What? It sucks, okay. I'm being recorded, so I'm not saying that one out loud. Anyone else? Does anyone get excited with the idea of the word routine? Oh, a few of you. Because you probably read some of the books that I've read. And what is exciting about routine is routine and habit, they're very similar, can make or break your business. Routine or habit can make or break your parenting style. Routine and habit can make or break a marriage. So I really am excited to share with you the importance of bookending your day. And how you do that is you start your day a certain way, you end your day a certain way, and what you do is you set yourself up for success. Now, who wants to learn a little bit about these valuable traits? Well, the first thing is you wake up in the morning. Now, how many of you do this? You reach for your phone and check Facebook. Don't lie, I know most of you do, come on, okay. And I used to do that. And then I started to read some books, like Mel Robbins' 5-Second Rule and Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning and The Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. And there's some great books out there. Tony Robbins has some great books out there. And the first thing that they talk about is the importance and value of starting your day right. How many of you think Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg wake up in the morning and check Facebook or email? They don't. They run their day or they would never accomplish anything. So think about this. If you grab your Facebook first thing, who's running your day? Whoever has some drama or annoying picture they put up that sets the tone. And this is the other thing. When you're on Facebook, so many of us don't realize that those are highlight reels. Those are not the roll up your sleeves muck of everyday life. Everyone on Facebook is happy and celebrating and making money, and their children are perfect and their marriages are romantic, and you get really frustrated because you just woke up and you were just like, I went to bed and I checked Facebook and everyone's so happy and I'm next to this lump. And it changes how you view things. And I know for myself, I like to get up in the morning and have a little bit of silence. Some of you might do meditation. Some of you might do prayer. And some of you might do something called priming. Priming is like a real deep breathing, and if you're not sure what it is, you can look on YouTube. You can find everything on YouTube University that you want to learn, okay? So silence or priming is a great way to start the day. Now, what I mean by that is not snooze. Silence and snooze are not the same. So you get up, whether you get out of bed or just sit up in bed, and you are silent. Like, it's better if you get out of bed. I mean, for me, okay, I get out of bed because I must visit the restroom. And then I can be in silence. Okay. So I do some silence, I do some deep breathing. I think that's a really important thing, is that you start with a clear mind in the morning. I like to use a journal and I like to practice gratitude. Now, those of you that know me know that I like to talk about the importance of practicing gratitude. I know everyone in this room is grateful, yes? Yes. But not everyone practices gratitude. How many people in this room own yoga pants? Raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you practice yoga. Look how many hands went down. Because you can own yoga pants and not practice yoga. You could be grateful and not practice gratitude. It's kind of like that. Everyone following me on this? And so many people are like, yeah, I bought the yoga pants with every intention of taking yoga. Okay, so you want to practice gratitude. For me, it's really, actually they even have online forms for it, but it's really simple because in my silence, Towards the end of my silence, I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for in the morning. I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for at night. When I was going through a struggling time, you guys remember I've done that training on how to overcome a season of struggle. That was a big thing. I actually wrote down everything I was grateful for to get me out of a funk. So if you're in a funk, writing it is very, very important because that's a psychoneuromuscular activity. Are you proud of me, Dr. B? Psychoneuromuscular activity. My husband's like, he's like, I always see her I make mistakes when I'm in front of the room that I don't normally in conversation, but you're like, okay, so yeah, so like you're engaging your brain, your body, it's all engaged. So when you're writing it out, you have that in there. It's important that you move around. Who has pets in the room? Okay, what do dogs and cats do when they wake up? Why do they stretch? They gotta get all that fuzz off of their muscles, all the dormancy. They know the importance of stretching. Some people will jump up and they'll go do a big exercise routine. But I'm saying even if you're not a big exercise person, it's okay. Just do what the dog and cat do. Even in hotel rooms, I'm on all fours doing cat-cow. My husband saw that once, he goes, what is that? And I'm like, you see what the dog does when he wakes up in the morning? I'm not going to be less smart than my dog that eats poop. I mean, think about it, right? So that's it. Do what your pets do, and you're going to be great. This is a great part of a morning routine. This is a lesson and a valuable tool that has changed. It's a game changer, and it can be for you as well. It's called a mind dump or a brain dump. And what you do is when you wake up, you go through your silence, your priming, you do your gratitudes, you stretch, cat-cow, do all of that great stuff. I have a notebook, I think I even might have it with me, and I start writing everything that's in my head. Now, majority of the room here today are women, so I know that I'm speaking to the right group here. You go through your day, and you're like, okay, I have to call 3 people, follow up. I have to pick up my kid at 6:15 from practice. I have to pick up dry cleaning. I have to do a load of laundry. I have to get my leadership school ticket. I need to drop something off, pick something up. And this is going on a loop all day long. And you're always like, I can't forget this. I can't forget that. I can't forget this. I can't forget that. And some stuff you put on a to-do list, right? But some stuff is just on a loop. And you never accomplish anything. And then at the end of the day, you're just like, I'm exhausted. I did 2 things, but I'm exhausted because everything's running on a loop. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is to actually write everything out that's in your brain. It doesn't just have to be your business mind dump. It could be everything, the laundry, picking up the kid from school, remembering to get that extra screw because something fell and you don't have the right length screw. All these things that literally go through your head. Oh, I have to remember to take out the garbage. I have to remember, to get the bathroom caulked. All the things, because here's what happens. When you have all this stuff going on a loop, an endless loop, your brain is not really functioning. Your creativity is stagnant. You're not actually able to be creative enough to come up with solutions to the things that are troubling you. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a fog, you can't see the forest from the trees? You're like, this would have been such a simple thing for me to be able to solve, but for whatever reason I didn't see it. And you call up a friend, like, well, that's easy, just do this, this, and this, right? And you're just like, why didn't I think of that? It's because of the loop. It's like having your phone open with 25 apps all running, or your computer with 25 windows. And what happens is you just can't function. So the mind dump is great. From the mind dump, you create your daily, weekly, and monthly blueprint. So when I do my mind dump, I look at it and I'm like, okay, realistically, I have 97 things here. Right? Because this is how it starts, 97 things, up to and including change to the spring closet, change your bedding from winter to spring. What all that, it can't all be done in one day. So, realistically, I say, what am I going to do today, and what am I going to do this week? And I use like little codes. My stars are for today, my circle dots are for this week, and then other stuff is color-coded for later, okay? What you're doing is you're mentally preparing yourself. But I'm going to take mental prep even further. How many of you actually need to go on appointments or make phone calls and you get a little bit nervous? And occasionally you're just like, oh, okay. I gotta psych myself out. Oh, this person's gonna hang up on me. They're gonna think I'm being annoying. He's taking a photo. Okay. That was funny, wasn't it? Okay, I totally lost my train. Thank you. So you're nervous, or you've already decided the person's not interested in what you have to offer, or you've already decided that you're going to be rejected in some way, right? The mental prep part is really important. You want to be able to have, and this is what I love about mental prep, power poses. Guys, I ran to the bathroom right before BJ finished and right before I came up, and guess what I did? I do a power pose. Do you guys know about power posing? If you don't, you can find that also on YouTube University. Amy Cuddy, she did a whole big TED Talk on it. Fantastic. How many of you guys know a superhero or two? What would a good pose look like? Give me a pose right in your chair. Give me a power pose, and hold it for 10 seconds. Do you feel the shift in a power pose? I'm going to show you my favorite power pose. Are you ready? Here it is. That's my standing ovation power pose. Because I fully expect at the end of my training to get a standing ovation. And you want to have a theme song. So I have a theme song. It plays in my head, and when I'm fortunate enough to be in front of the room, and I have Mark, it plays when I go up and off and on the stage. And it is something that gets me into that mental prep. So you can create a theme song. Do you all have a theme song? Who has a theme song? Tell me your theme song.
I Have a Tiger.
I Have the Tiger. What's your theme song? Bruno Mars, of course, because he's Filipino, and that's important. If there was no Filipino singer, she wouldn't have a theme song. Anyone else? I'm only teasing you. Who else has a theme song? Yes?
I have Walking on Sunshine.
Walking on Sunshine. It's a great song. I actually almost started Walking on Sunshine. As soon as you said that, I like it comes. It's an instant recall. There's two that I have. I have The Life Will Never Be the Same, which is really important. That's a good one. And then I also have some things that I do, mental prep, where I have Chariots of Fire. Okay, so those are two of them. I have theme songs. If you don't have a theme song, go get one. And sometimes you could get it onto your iPhone, whatever, play it, have it looping in your head. Instead of the voices that tell you I'm going to fail, instead of the voices that tell you I'm going to be rejected, have your theme song playing, right? Dun, 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 right? Okay, I just want to make sure everyone's cool with that. Zone of Genius and IPA. This is a really valuable piece of information. Most people that are at the top level of any business, whether it's network marketing, sales, CEOs, top managers, this is the one thing they all have in common. They all operate within their zone of genius. Now, if you haven't read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, they talk about this, and it is so important that we operate within our zone of genius. But if your zone of genius doesn't include income-producing activities, you're in the wrong business. Okay, I'm going to be really brutal about that. So if your zone of genius is, I alphabetize things, I color code things, I organize things, I do all of this stuff, but I don't like to call people or talk to people, you're in the wrong business. And that's okay, but you need to either change what your zone of genius is or operate within your zone of genius. Because there are different people that are meant for different things. Believe me, if you're artistic, you can be artistic and you can still be artistic in your zone of genius in your business. All you need to do is figure out that outlet. Okay, so what's my zone of genius? Training is something that I love to do. Speaking is something that I love to do. So I have found a way to incorporate speaking and training in my business. Okay? It is what excites me. I can still do income-producing activities to bring people in so that I can train them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's a means to and an end means to an end? Okay, yeah. I'm not always good with those kind of things, so I don't write them down, but it's a means to an end. Zone of Genius, IPA. It's an 80-20 rule. 80% of your time needs to be spent on income-producing activities and within the zone of genius. And if you have questions about that, I suggest you pick up The Big Leap. It's an awesome book. Now, I know BJ is over there on her Amazon Prime ordering every book I've just, if she hasn't already read every book. Of course she has. Power of 3 and Focus 15. Most people can only focus on 3 major activities a day. So when you're doing your blueprint, find 3 things, but what those 3 things, make sure they're moving you towards your goal. Because sometimes you're going to pick 3 things and it's reorganize my closet, alphabetize my files, and buy new spices. Okay, that is not going to get, right? So you want to make sure that you're picking the power of 3. 3 things you want to accomplish, and at least 2 of them need to be moving you towards your goal. Does that make sense to everyone? Moving you towards your goal. So what would be something that would be a power of 3 thing, an activity? Somebody want to give me something? Karina, I know you're ready. Send out samples. Anyone else? Schedule an event. Anyone else?
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. Awesome.
Read something in a book.
Read a book. Right. Read personal development. Anyone else? Ask 3 new people a day.
Inviting to a DA.
Inviting someone to a DA. That's fantastic. So this is your power of 3. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't sit down and make calls for an hour straight. Somehow, the dishwasher calls to me, different things call to me in the house, and because I work from home. So what I do is I do what you call the Focus 15. And every 15 minutes, a timer goes off, and I get up and I stretch my legs. And I do my cat-cow or whatever else it is I'm doing. But every 15 minutes, I take a mental break. So if I'm doing something like I was creating a list, a mail merge thing. Now, some people can do that in like 15 minutes. 5 hours later, I'm still doing like a mail merge thing. But, and I took a class on it. Kelly was there. It just doesn't work out well for me. But I can't do that for hours straight. I can do 15 minutes, get up, and it's also better for your eyes, better for your back, better for your posture. And have alarms. I'm going to tell you that that is a big, big thing for me, which comes up next, is you want to set timers. If you say you're going to do something, don't keep procrastinating it. Sit down and say, for 15 minutes, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to say, oh, I have to do the laundry, I have to buy new spices for my spice rack, or whatever. Sit down and do what you said you were going to move yourself forward, and set a timer. Because that timer can also be your accountability. Do you know you can set multiple timers in your phone? And the timer can go off and say, call 3 people. And then you're like, oh, there we go. Another timer can go off 30 minutes later and say, move close to dryer. Like, it doesn't matter. You can set your timers. You know, your dreams are calling you. There's so many things you can call these timers. They're fantastic. So that's how you start your day. How you end your day is just as important. So you get ready for bed, and how many of you beat yourself up? I did nothing that I said I was going to do today. I stink. I'm awful. Who do I think I am? I'm never going to get my goals. Isn't that does that serve you, those conversations? Well, we have them. We have those conversations because we never accomplish everything on our to-do list, which is why I use the star and the dot method so that I don't beat myself up. But what I want you to do at the end of the day, okay, don't fall asleep on your couch and then drag yourself to bed. Make it a personal mission to take a few minutes before you go to sleep and do some deep breathing. Do some relaxation. Do some yoga poses. This is my new thing now. You guys know I'm like all into yoga now. So that's an important thing. Like, take a few deep breaths. And review. Review and reflect. Say, okay, you know what? What did I do right? Like, ask yourself, if you want a better quality of life, ask yourself better quality questions. Like, what did I do today that I'm proud of? Okay, that's part of reflection. What did I do today that I was proud of? And then you also want to reflect, what can I do tomorrow that I'll be proud of when I go to bed? When you ask yourself these types of questions, your mind will start to shift and you'll come up with answers. You'll come up with an answer of, okay, well, I did one thing I'm really proud of today. I got out of my comfort zone. I called someone I was a little nervous about calling. And then you could say, what can I be proud of today? So ask yourself this right now in your head. What can I do today that I'll be proud of when I go to bed tonight? But is there something that came to mind? Your brain is like a heat-seeking missile. It will look for the answer to whatever you're asking it. So what I want to invite you to do is start asking better questions. Start asking yourself questions like, what more can I do? How can I add value? Instead of saying, oh, I really got to get, I got to get going. I can't believe I didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. I have so much I have to do. Those are statements that don't serve you. What does serve you is asking questions that will lead your mind to come up with something creative. Does that make sense? Set your intentions for the next day, your top 3. You have your mind dump already. You can add to it throughout the day if you need to, but you want to pick 3 things so that when you go to bed, you don't have that loop going on, right? So you know what, there's a couple things I didn't do. I'm going to write it down, set my intentions. I'm doing these things as soon as I wake up. For example, what was moving on my to-do list quite frequently was to do my featured speakers for leadership school. And I had so many other things going on, and then when I looked up, I have more speakers than days, so I had to double up. I was like, okay, that wasn't really well planned. But I now know that my intentions, I have it now as a timer at the next leadership school. 2 weeks out, I start doing a daily featured speaker. Does that make sense? So you learn from it. You don't beat yourself up. You review, you reflect, you set your next intention, you have your top 3 for the next day. Again, take a moment to be grateful. I survived a day. I have a bed to sleep in, a roof over my head, and blankets. My daughter was cold last night in the hotel. I was like, you have blankets, be grateful. And she's even more grateful. She just crawled into bed with me. She's like, yeah, it was kind of cold. I'm like, thank you. She showed all my body heat, but thank you, it's fine. She's my child. I'm grateful for her. No electronics. How many of you sleep with the phone right next to your head? Bad, bad, bad. Because, number 1, you don't want to have all those emissions near your brain. Number 2, it's very tempting, if you get up to use the bathroom, or even when you wake up in the morning, to grab it and look. So, start putting it further away. You can still hear it if there's an emergency. I mean, believe me, if it's in your bathroom and there's a big echo, you'll hear it, but you won't be tempted to just grab it. You'll be tempted to get up and do your mind dump. It's important that you plan what you want to see in your sleep. If you're watching a horror movie, how many of you have ever done that, or eaten Mexican food right before bed, and you have nightmares? Either one of those things give me nightmares. Mexican food before bed, or a scary movie. And my heart is racing all night long. So you can watch your horror movie, but then get in the bed, okay, or your Mexican food, get in the bed, okay, and spend the time visualizing what your most, gosh, how do I want to word this? What is your best projected future going to look like? And take a few moments to visualize it. Close your eyes, because remember, the subconscious mind does not know the difference between that which is real and that which is vividly imagined. So take the time to visualize your best projected future. And then when you go to sleep, what do you think your brain is going to be looking for? Ways to get it. Ways that you may not be thinking of right now. It is amazing the things that come up when you're asking your brain. We took Tony Robbins together. You know, when you ask certain questions, your brain just starts working, and you're like, oh, I can't believe this. This just came to me. It came to you because you asked the right questions. It came to you because you visualized what you want your future to look like, and your subconscious mind went to work. How many of you are excited now to go to bed tonight and start getting your reticular activating system working in your favor? To me, that's like a really big thing. Do you feel like these keys were valuable to you on bookending your day? I'm so glad, because this is the end of my training, and I will be back this afternoon with some communication tips. So I will now do my power pose, and thank you all very much.